bank machine cards, subway passes, ski lift tickets, production control cards. But whatever the application, the principle at work is the same. A single magnetic stripe can contain more than one track. Credit cards and banking cards, for example, follow an ISO standard that calls for 3 tracks with different information on each. Other kinds of cards can have fewer or more tracks on a single stripe, or they may have more than one stripe. At the center of the system is the magnetic stripe itself. It's made up of a kind of paint into which are mixed magnetic particles to form a slurry. The slurry is painted or extruded onto the card or badge or ticket, or it can be put onto a sheet of mylar, which is later applied to the card. While the slurry is still wet, it's passed through a magnetic field to align all the particles in the direction of the stripe. The slurry is then oven dried, locking the particles in place.
The new California driver's license is a good example of magnetic stripe technology put to use in the identification business.
California issues over 30,000 driver's licenses and ID cards per day, and that number is increasing at a rate of 8% per year. To handle the rapidly increasing volume of transactions, the California Department of Motor Vehicles has taken a leadership role in the utilization of photo identification technologies.
In my previous position, I was the director of the Department of Motor Vehicles, and during my tenure there, I had an opportunity to bring into completion and implementation a new form of driver's license in California, which basically allowed many of the old photographic components of the driver's license to be computerized, allowing the image to be captured in a digital base, the signature digitized, and the driver's license moving from basically a piece of polyester paper to a credit card style driver's license with a magnetic strip attached to the back of it with data encoded on it. We found that its principal use was not to demonstrate that you've been awarded the privilege to drive a vehicle in California, but its principal use was really for identification. A lot of the information on the driver's license is captured in the process of conducting a retail transaction, issuing a traffic citation, and clearly we ought to take advantage of technology. In order to build the integrity of our records, we need to ensure that there's accuracy at the point where the information is captured. Certainly, by reading a magnetic strip, you increase the accuracy much more than just copying the information off the face of the license. Short term, we saw it as a convenience, saving keystrokes, improving accuracy. Long term, we look at many of the components that went into the driver's license, the digitized imaging, the photograph in a digitized base, the signature in a digitized base is providing much more flexibility and in a better infrastructure to deal with that. We can look at the image, we can compare signatures. We can transmit images where there's some question about a person's identity. All these things are important identification components of the driver's license.
As Pierce said, the Department of Motor Vehicles has advanced far beyond its original objective of ensuring that those who drive are qualified to do so. Today, by their own admission, they're in the identification business. With a staff of more than 39,000 employees and a budget at well over $6 billion, they are compiling digitized photograph, fingerprint, and signature records on Californians at a rate of more than 30,000 a day. Identification is positive, and someday soon, this giant California database will become part of the worldwide identification system via the electronic superhighway. You're not being forced into the databases, but you will volunteer if you wish to participate in the activities that have become so necessary to everyday life, like driving your car. The magnetic stripe technology currently used by the California Department of Motor Vehicles is capable of storing little more than the information already printed on the license, a mere pittance of what authorities would like it to hold. And the cost per character is some 20 times higher than the newer IC chip smart card technology.
Magnetic stripes can typically store about 80 characters of information, and that would cost 30 or 40 cents. beyond storage of magnetic stripes, you need to go to a smart card. The typical cost for a smart card to give you the capability of storing 2,000 characters information might be $2. We've got 2,000 characters of information for $2. We have 80 characters of information for about 30 or 40 cents.
So a smart card, for our definition of a smart card is a device that's the same form factor as a credit card, which not only has memory but also has a computer chip located with that memory. And it is the presence of that computer chip which enables the card to execute software which encodes and decodes information.
Smart cards are quite often called contact cards because a reader-writer or a machine that is capable of inputting data and outputting data from the card actually makes contact with the surface of the chip module in order to pass data back and forth from the read-writer to the card. And these read-writers, of course, could be systems that are utilized by the consumer, for example, a telephone debit card. In this case, the read-writer would be embedded in the telephone system or whatever system is utilized for that particular card.
I see the IC chip card as a big advantage. In the U.S., they're not used as much, primarily because of the mag stripe industry, which has been with us probably 50 years. The mag stripe is susceptible to fraud, and all the major banks are looking at the IC chip card as a way to prevent that fraud.
You'll see multiple applications on a given card, such as possibly MasterCard, Visa, and some electronic purse functions residing on the same card, such that you can download money via your personal computer or a terminal without ever using cash. You can have a cashless ATM in your own house.
It's really not possible to predict where we're going to be in 100 years from now, but it is easy to predict that within the next 10 years we will have the electronic purse where you can walk up to the ATM machine and load basically your smart card purse with money, and you can spend that money in retail stores anywhere you want without having to carry any cash with you.
Smart cards are an ideal monetary medium for the fast-approaching cashless society. But with magstripe technology so firmly entrenched, just how will the changeover be accomplished?
It's going to be one of those quiet revolutions that Mr. and Mrs. America is going to open up an envelope someday from MasterCard or Visa or Discover Card or whoever it might be from their bank, and either their credit card or their ATM card is going to have a little gold spot on it. It's going to have instructions on how to use it.
It might not only be a bank debit card, but it also could have identification information. It could have medical records stored on this card. There are many, many uses.
France pioneered the smart card when they introduced their national telephone debit card over a decade ago.
This original telephone application has spread, and now we're seeing debit cards for other applications as well. The ATM cards in Germany are going to be equipped with a chip as well as a magstripe for the time being, and in the long run might be replaced completely by a chip card based on secure memory. The other application that has evolved in Germany is health card, a patient data health card.
There are 80 million German national health cards that are being produced with a smart chip embedded in the plastic card. And of this 80 million, 70% of those cards are being manufactured using the Meinenziegel & Co. high-volume production equipment.